Good afternoon. My name is Ted Kleisner, and I'm a member of the Rotary Club of Savannah. And one of the things our club is doing is we are sponsoring what we call the Rotary Read-In. And it's simply this. We're coming to you on the Savannah-Chatham County Public School channel to read you some stories that I think you'll like. And my position in the club, I'm the new president of the club, and I'm very proud to say that this is a very special project to me because it gives me a chance to read some very interesting stories to kids who are in school, ready to go on to great things. The book I've chosen today, it's called Fly, Eagle, Fly. It's an African tale. It's very interesting. And it's a tale that was first shared by a man from Ghana, the Republic of Ghana, in Western Africa, a beautiful country. The man's name is James Quajier Agre, but he was mostly known as Agre of Africa. And his story is set in the farmland area of Ghana, and in a very pretty area because it goes up into the mountains and overlooks the Atlantic Ocean. So you're probably wondering, where is Ghana? So if you wanted to, say, take a boat to Ghana from Tybee Island, it would be a very long distance, so about 8,000 miles. Now, if you wanted to drive to Los Angeles, California, for example, that's only about 2,700 miles. So a very long way away, but it's all the way across the same ocean that comes to our beach at Tybee and hits the shores in Western Africa in Ghana, which is right on what they call the Ivory Coast and very near the equator, the very center of the earth. So let me begin our story. And let me start by showing this picture of the fly, eagle, fly. And it shows the sun rising in looking at the Atlantic Ocean in Ghana. And this story starts when a farmer went out one day to search for a lost calf. The little herd boys had come back without it the evening before, and that night there had been a terrible storm. And there's the farmer coming back, trying to figure out where his calf is, and that's a picture of the village in Ghana. The farmer went to the valley and searched. He searched by the riverbed. He searched among the reeds, behind the rocks, and in the rushing water of the Atlantic Ocean. He wandered over the hillside, through the dark and tangled forest where everything began, and then out along the muddy cattle tracks. You can see there's the herd of cattle right down here. And the farmer here, he's searching for the lost calf. He searched in the long thatched grass, taller than his own head. He climbed the slopes of the high mountains with its rocky cliffs rising right to the sky. He called out all the time, hoping the calf might hear, but also because he felt so alone. His shouts echoed off the cliffs. The river and the valley roared below. You can see he's up on the mountain here. And down here is the ocean. But look how high he is on the cliff here. Very high. Very lonely place to be. He climbed up a gully in case the calf had huddled there to escape from the storm. And that was where he stopped. From there, on a ledge of a rock, close enough to touch, he saw a most unusual sight. An eagle chick hatched from its egg maybe a day or two before, and then blown from its nest by the terrible storm. Now he reached out and cradled the chick in both his hands. He would take it home and care for it, he thought. And home he went, still calling in case his missing calf might hear. And you can see the farmer, he's holding the chick in his hands. Look how small it is. He was almost home when the children ran out to meet him, and they were singing and dancing. The calf came back all by itself, they shouted. And his wife and children then placed the chick carefully in the warm kitchen among the hens and chicks and under the watchful eye of the roosters. So it's like that the chickens were kind of coming right into their kitchen, and a big old rooster was watching over the chickens. And the farmer just thought, well, this is a good place to put this eagle chick. And he thought to himself, the eagle is king of the birds, but we shall train it to be a chicken. So the eagle lived among the chickens, learning their ways. His children called their friends to see the strange bird. For as it grew, living on bits and pieces put up for the chickens, he began to look quite different from any chicken they had ever seen. And if you can see this, right down at the bottom, you can see there's the eagle pecking away. Nope, doesn't look like a chicken to me either. One day, a friend of the farmer's stopped by for a visit, and the farmer sat at the door of the kitchen in their hut. They were smoking pipes. The friend saw the bird among the chickens. Hey, that's not a chicken. That's an eagle. The farmer smiled at him and said, of course it's a chicken. It walks like a chicken. It eats like a chicken. It smells like a chicken. Of course it's a chicken. But the friend was not convinced. I will show you that it's an eagle. Maybe like this eagle right here. Big wings that soar. So the farmer was unimpressed. He said, go ahead, show me he's an eagle. The farmer's children helped his friend catch the bird. Look at this, they're trying to catch the eagle. So he's trying to get away, but they catch him. It was fairly heavy to be lifted above his head. And he said to the eagle, you are not a chicken. You are an eagle. You belong not to the earth, but to the sky. Fly, eagle, fly. The bird stretched out its wings as the farmer and the family had seen it do before, but it looked about, saw the chickens feeding, and jumped down to scratch with them for food. I told you it was a chicken, the farmer said, and he roared with laughter. The next day, the friend was back. Farmer, he said, I'll prove to you that this is no chicken, but an eagle. Bring me a ladder. With the large bird under one arm, he struggled up the slippery thatch of the tallest hut in the village. The farmer doubled up with laughter. It eats chicken food. It thinks like a chicken. It's a chicken. The friend, swaying on top of the hut, took the eagle's head, pointed it to the sky, and said, you are not a chicken. You are an eagle. You belong not to the earth, but to the sky. Fly, eagle, fly. You can see there he is. He's going up. He's up on the top of the roof, getting ready. And what happens? And the great bird stretched its wings. It trembled, and the claws that clasped his hand opened. "Fly, eagle, fly," said the man. The bird scrambled out of his hands, slid down the thatch, and sailed in among the chickens. And there was much laughter. The very next day, very early in the morning, the farmer's dogs began to bark. A voice was calling outside in the darkness, and the farmer ran to the door. Who could that be? It was his friend again. "Give me one more chance. Give me one more chance with the bird. I know it's an eagle," he begged. "Do you know what time it is?" the farmer said. "It's long before dawn. Are you crazy?" "Come with me," said the man. "Fetch the bird." Reluctantly, the farmer went into the kitchen, stepping over his sleeping children, and picked up the bird, which was, of course, fast asleep among the chickens. The two men set off, disappearing into the darkness. There they go. They're going out. They've taken the eagle that thinks it's a chicken with them. What are they going to do? "Where are we going?" asked the farmer sleepily. The man answered, "To the mountains where you found the bird." "And why at this ridiculous time of night?" said the farmer. "So our eagle may see the sun rise over the mountain and follow it into the sky where it belongs." They went into the valley and crossed the river. The friend was leading the way. The bird was very heavy and too large to carry comfortably, but the friend insisted on taking it himself. "Hurry," he said, "or the dawn will arrive before we do." At first light, as it crept into the sky, they began to climb the mountain. Below them, they could see the river flowing right down into the Atlantic Ocean. The wispy clouds in the sky were pink at first, but then began to shimmer with a golden brilliance. Sometimes their path was dangerous as it clung to the side of the mountain, crossing narrower shelves of rock and taking them into the dark crevices and out again. They were both panting, especially the friend who was carrying that heavy bird. At last he said, "This will do." He looked down the cliff and he saw the ground thousands of feet below. They were at the top of the mountain. Look where they are, the very top. And look at them. You can see the river going to the ocean below as they're climbing up. Carefully, the friend carried the bird to the ledge. He sat it down and looked towards the east and began talking to it. The farmer chuckled. "It only talks chicken talk." But the friend talked on, telling the bird about the sun, how it gives life to the world, how it reigns over the heavens, giving light to each new day. "Look at the sun," the man said. "Look at the sun, eagle. When it rises, rise with it. You belong to the sky and not to the earth." At that moment, the sun's first rays shot over the mountain. And suddenly, the world was ablaze with light. The golden sun arose majestically, dazzling them. The great bird stretched out its wings to greet the sun and feel the life-giving warmth on its feathers. The farmer was very quiet. The friend said to the eagle, "You belong not to the earth, but to the sky. Fly, eagle, fly. Clambered back to the farmer then. All was silent. Nothing moved. The eagle's head stretched up. Its wings stretched upward. Its legs leaned forward as its claws clutched the rock. There it is. He's looking out. And then, without hardly moving at all, feeling the updraft of wind more powerful than any man or bird, the great eagle leaned forward with its wings outstretched and was swept upward, higher and higher. Lost to sight in the brightness of the rising sun, never again to live among the chickens. Fly, eagle fly, there he goes, into the sun. So that's a very nice story, don't you think? It tells us a lot of things, maybe even about ourselves. So what do you think of our story? You know, I'm going to paraphrase a very famous man who said, we too sometimes think we're chickens, but deep down inside, we know we're eagles. We're not bound by the earth or the ground or by what people say, but we are made for something truly glorious. We are made for freedom and laughter and goodness and love. And we should always be straining to lift our wings and reach high and soar like the eagle and fly, eagle fly. Those words, they're not mine, from a very famous man, Archbishop Desmond Tutu, a very famous South African civil rights leader who in 1984, because of his great work in human rights and civil rights, was awarded one of the most prestigious prizes in the world, the Nobel Peace Prize. Remember his words, if you will, and think about the eagle that was told he was a chicken and then figure it out. He could fly. Fly, eagle, fly. Thanks for letting me be with you today. It's been a lot of fun.